Hi, my name is Salman and I'm currently on the developer portal for S&P Global's Commodity Insights. I am currently logged in, as you can see on the top right. My name is coming up over there. And the topic of discussion for this video is how the monthly global oil demand forecast API, or in short, MGODF API, is scheduled to be decommissioned by Q4 of 2025. This API will transition to the Oil-NGL Analytics API. And the new API introduces a feature that divides the latest and archive data into two separate endpoints. One is refined product demand-archive. The other one is refined product demand-latest. So keeping in mind, will the current user's entitlement be impacted? No, there will be no changes needed regarding entitlements to access the new API. And what's new about it? The old API provides only short-term data, whereas the new API offers both short-term and long-term data. Users with CSM Plus fuels and refining packages will have access to the long-term data. So now let me show you how we can go to these options. First, I will go to the API dropdown. Then I will go to Service Catalog, which is on your top left. On my left, I have my datasets. Underneath it, I will go to Fundamentals and Outlooks. And then underneath it, I will have Monthly Global Oil Demand Forecast, the old API that will be decommissioned by Q4 of 2025. And above it, Oil-NGL Analytics, which has refined product demand-archive and refined product demand-latest. So if you go inside either of them, you can see the first endpoint, refined product demand-archive or -latest, depending on which one you go on, and the corresponding metadata endpoint underneath it. You have to keep in mind that the use cases at the moment aren't there completely, but they will be updated into the system sooner. Same case for the latest one as well. 4 of them are present currently, but more use cases will be added later down the line. Now I will show you a quick example between the old and the new using our API Data Explorer. Again, I will go to the top left and I will click on API Data Explorer. Now, first I will put in an example for the old API endpoint. I'll click on Submit and I will fetch. You can see the data right now, right in front of you. And also on top, you can see API Data Explorer, Monthly Global Oil Demand Forecast. Now I'll show you an example of the newer API endpoint. So here's an example of the newer API endpoint. I've already imported the query in regards to the newer endpoint. And you can see API Data Explorer, Oil-NGL Analytics. So you can see the data right over here. And now we'll put the data side by side for you. So now if you look at the data side by side, you can see the slight difference in the columns, but you will have more information in the new endpoints, Oil-NGL Analytics. Thank you. That was a very brief overview about the decommissioning of this endpoint and all the data being accessed later down the line using Oil-NGL Analytics. Thank you and have a good day.